Sarah was more tired than I.
Oh my gosh, that's a job. And she's taking it seriously.
And she's very quick. So if you hear a little noise, bang, she's
No,
found.
she was good. But I would hear like a little muffin, like all three.
I give her a little look. Out of a few hundred people, she's fine.
That's really good.
And you have to read on OBS.
You always read that.
Yeah, but I'm saying is right now Zoom.
Look, if you're at home, you have this little kid at home. You're never off, right? Between your work and you get, and so it's a terrible thing for you to be having that.
No, it's not.
I think there's a mental health thing in there.
I was really lucky because
So, but I'm saying, see, right now, that's in.
my boss has 3 kids.
It's not clear.
Two kids between
No,
ages
the A will know.
12
Doesn't matter which is
and 7. She's trying to homeschool
A has
them.
no.
Public school remote.
So if anybody understands.
Oh god, yeah. So they all get it. There have been so many Zoom meetings with Ari on my lap.
A will know.
And it's okay.
It's fine.
Okay, I think we're good.
It's
Thanks, man.
David needs a vacation after this.
And this is
Yeah, for sure.
So what about over here? This is Zoom.
This is what's on my.
Right now, it's just.
But of course, as I'm driving up, there's always a reason for there to be traffic on the Merritt. Always.
Yeah.
Even during a pandemic. I'm
No,
amazed by
it
that.
has nothing to do with Zoom. This is just Zoom.
There were times when I would be out, like say on this Whitney Avenue.
We're all
no
connected
cars.
through Zoom.
It was really very like on a
That's so
even on a weekday.
Yesterday, when I was walking to shore, I noticed that there was a backup of cars at Whitney Avenue looking to get on to
And I'm not a
South.
participant.
I was like, where's everyone going?
And so
That's it.
which one is there one over here too?
The picture you're showing there is here. So if you change scenes, it'll change because it's a participant here on Zoom. This is what they see on streaming and Zoom. And if you change that picture, it'll change the screen picture and this one. We're doing, that's live stream, but it's also a participant. Whatever picture you're showing.
So you got 3 going right now?
Well, yeah, this, the laptop, and then I'm going to go.
So is that, is your virtual director?
Yeah.
So you don't have your camera after this point?
I locked up because I'm sitting there. I don't want people to see what we're asking.
David, do we have wine for keeping?
I'm going to get fresh.
Oh, perfect.
Because that was from this morning.
Oh, got it.
Let me just do this.
Mhm.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Did you get a
Doing
nap
well.
in?
Yeah, a little bit at the very end.
You deserve a long nap. Are we skipping the Kittles tonight?
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
I think that's-
What was I doing? Okay. This is good. Okay. What were you going to say? That you want me to leave this off till we start so that you want to chat with anyone?
That's it.
No.
We're all chatted out.
You know, it's really funny. I was talking with Molly a couple of days ago. Like, Mommy's calling on a trip. Mommy's doing services in Connecticut. And we looked at him and he's like, babysitting? Because he remembers how Shayna would be in the babysitting room. And he
Who
loved
remembers that?
Yeah.
That's a long time ago in this.
I know. He also loves your wife.
Maybe next week.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I just don't know where we'll be next week.
I don't know either. I mean, the way I look at it, this went so well that you have the tools to do this again.
Yeah, and then there's something, at the end, I don't know if I was talking to somebody in Chicago, and somebody in Florida, and somebody in Atlanta, and somebody in Philadelphia, and I'm leaving out some other ones, and do we go back even when there's people and allow some of that? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean, is there any going back from this?
I mean, they're definitely really useful
look, Sarah, who works with this management company, her life was she'd be in Arkansas most of the week or whatever, and now she's come back and there's no more travel.
Yeah, of course.
So she's making these big bucks that were for the traveling, but she's not traveling anymore. And as a matter of fact, like she works for the Boston office. The Boston office is closing. There's no, I mean, they'll just move through the New York office.
More efficient.
You just get, why pay for the rent? And I'm sure that that's happening all over the place.
But to play devil's advocate, my husband and I used to commute into the city every night. Think about the loss of money.
Oh, I'm
Hi, David.
I'm very aware of that. Or the gain of money to you for not paying attention.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shabbat Shalom, David. Shabbat Shalom, Deborah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Deborah, where's your fascinator?
What's a fascinator?
The little hat thing.
That hat is called a fascinator?
Yeah, they're called fascinators.
Why? Because they fasten?
No, they're called fascinators.
They fasten onto your head?
You know, like the royals. A lot of.
I've never heard that term in my life.
The
No.
hat, it's like plopped on your head with the.
Yes, that's what they're called.
Is that because they're fascinating,
No.
or because they fasten on your head?
Well, gee, let's see what the OED says about what.
They're like they're put on like headbands. They're like.
I think it must be that they fasten on your head. It's always weird for me on the second night. You go from hundreds of people to hoping for a million.
It's all very strange.
And then sometimes I count me on there and me here.
Yeah. Well, that's how we do it now.
I remember a couple of years ago, we were discussing people putting anything in, and could they, if they,
And the answer
it
was no.
wasn't Zoom, but there was some other
I think FaceTime we were talking
FaceTime or something we were talking about, and
about. No, but I was sticking with the halakha thing that the people have to be in the room,
physically.
which I still believe in. I still believe that there's so much of this is going to, we're not going to have human contact.
No,
I believe that we're social animals. We should
Pretty
be
much.
in each other's presence. I really do believe it. And this has not changed my belief.
Your picture cup.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw it.
You
It
just
was on the
had,
table.
you just had,
I had it.
yeah, you
Could I
actually, oh,
put
here
it?
it is.
So I put it down and start putting it back there.
I think that you see, to me, I see it as like when the pandemic is over, we use the Zoom as a way to connect people who are homebound
Are
or
you
they're
setting
far
up
away.
Well, that's actually the thing on my mind. There are people, and they'd always ask me over the years, I can't get to show, I'm
Yeah.
sick, and I was sort of ignoring it. I know ignoring is the right word, but I was saying no to them. So I was thinking, is there some way to just allow Zoom
That's what I think.
for those people who really have a reason?
For people who are like, they live in just other areas. I gave the link to one person who is a friend of mine who is very curious about Judaism. And so like she just wanted to know what I did.
So think about for her or him, they didn't have to come into the social thing of all these Jewish people and the
Exactly.
synagogue. They could sort of put
And
their
they live
foot
in
in.
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So it's like she used to work with me at Penn and she's always been like interested in Judaism. So
That's an interesting story.
yeah.
I didn't hear the question.
Yeah, she's saying that she has a friend who's not Jewish, who's always been interested in Judaism, and she gave the link, to sort of see this. Now think about for that person, it didn't mean having to walk into 700 people, or something, that they could just sort of try without being embarrassed, without worrying about are they dressed right, I was thinking that we had a board meeting the other night, and there were a lot more people at that board meeting on the Zoom. It's night, you've been working all day, do you really feel like going out to a board meeting? But if you can be sitting at home and Zoom in, now that's not a religious thing, but that's a tool.
Yeah, I'm finding that our board meetings, we're getting more people.
Right.
Hi, Gail.
Back here is okay.
That's totally fine.
Jeff mentioned that he's given out the stream and some Zoom to some people that aren't currently members.
Right.
But he's actually hoping that this this may encourage people going.
Yeah, I mean, we did say they should make a donation because we don't want to undermine
Yeah,
membership.
definitely, especially
So-
for local people.
I hope he has.
Hey, Nettie.
Hi.
Hope he's done that judiciously.
The numbers that showed in between Zoom and Screen this morning
Yeah.
are pretty substantial.
Correct. See, the thing with the zooming, at least we can see a name. Stream, we have no idea.
How many people did you have streaming?
We had 116, sets of people. That's not 116 people. It's more
Right.
than that. So, but there's no way to know. I mean, there were families that had 5 or 6 people.
Right.
know.
No. But I think you said how many people were streaming. How many?
No, that's streaming. Zooming, again, it's screens, not people.
Right.
What was the number?
160.
162.
163.
163.
So it was about equal.
Well,
116 and 163.
160, 160.
Oh, okay.
Well, in a certain way, I still don't know how to count. In other words, do you count
No,
an
you
average
can't.
of
You
2? Do you count a 1.5?
You can't know.
We don't really know.
You really don't know.
There was one point where you had 155 participants on the Zoom.
Right, 165 screens, David. Okay, in other words, here's David and Lonnie, right? And that's 2 people, not 1 person, right? So, and we had, there were times that there were 3 or 5 or 7 or 2. So, I don't know how to average that. So, but Larry's right one way or the other. I mean, it was a substantial number of people.
To me, that's good news.
Right, and I noticed, like, I was walking home from Shul, and somebody stopped me, and he said that there were 6 of them at his house, watching the stream, and they liked the stream better than the Zoom, so everybody's making their choices. But, so I don't know how to average, but it was good. Whatever it was good.
Good, yeah.
Your sermon was phenomenal.
Thank you,
Oh
Gail.
my goodness, yes.
Thank you, Gail.
Spot on, perfect.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
Thank you.
The highlight of the year.
Needed to be said.
Yes,
I wanted
and
to
it was
say
said
that-
beautifully.
Honestly, kol hakavod.
Thank you very much.
Kol hakavod.
And the other thing is that David Margolis is the best park opener and closer ever.
Well, he's had a lot of practice. Let's be fair. Yeah.
He is superstar.
I know, but do you know how many times he's been here opening the Ark? I mean, I think we're gonna have to put him in the other division or something. The Hall of Fame division or something. I don't think it's fair even to rank him with everybody else at this point. We're gonna have to
So
put
where should
we're gonna put him in the Michelle Murphy division.
That's very good.
I think as a Rosh Hashanah, we're gonna declare that. We still have 5 minutes. So my brother, some of his wife's parents have shul, so they had the zooming from our synagogue in the den, and in the living room they had from Long Beach Island that Zoom, and in the dining room they had from a synagogue that nobody goes to.
I don't get it.
You don't remember that? You don't know that joke? Gail, you don't know the joke?
No?
All right.
Synagogue we used to belong to.
Yeah, the joke, Gail, and
Guy on the desert island.
I'm very happy to tell you, because his is a piggyback joke. So there was a man, it was a terrible story. He was shipwrecked on a desert island, all by himself, and they didn't find him for 15 years. And finally, after 15 years, they found him. And he said, look, before you take me back to civilization, I want to show you what I've built in the 15 years. He built a town, a whole town. Here was a supermarket where he sold himself coconuts, right? And here was a post office. He wrote himself letters, right? And here was the fire department, and here was the police department. Here was one synagogue, and here was the other synagogue. So they said to him, look, we understand the supermarket where you sell yourself coconuts. We understand the fire department, but why do you need 2 synagogues? He says, you see that synagogue? Nobody goes there.
Nobody knows.
So my brother was riffing off that joke to tell his joke about today. Then they were zooming from this synagogue in the living room from the Long Beach Island synagogue, and in the dining room, a synagogue that nobody goes to. It's a funny joke. It's a joke.
Okay, what should I'm going to mute now.
But you can see that I raised him, like he's my little brother. So.
The other one, Rabbi, was he said, weren't you ever worried that we would never come and get you?
Yeah.
He says, I made my pledge. I knew they'd find me.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that. That's good. That's good, Mike. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me about that. I think it was an Israel bond, that he made a pledge to Israel bond.
Right. Go to the Federation.
Yeah. Are you streaming? Yeah. Good.
Rabbi, where are we tonight with Jeff K?
I don't think we're doing anything tonight, right, Jeff? No. No, Jeff, I think there's something, Tea House of the August Moon, he's doing something, That's what it looks like. Or the Old Bamboo, something. Yeah, saw here. Okay. Tired. Don't tell me. Oh, actually, I'm familiar with this. I've heard of this many times now that you say it. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Sid Miller. Oh, exactly that. And then they just took him off. And he's been okay. I mean, that was like last fall, But when you said the glass, that's when. Ed Kaplan, did I see you there for a minute? Ed, did I see you?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay. After the service, I'll look and see what we have figured out about the shofar blowing, okay? So if you can hang on after the service.
You keep me hanging on.
Okay. And by the way, when you were texting me, you can't take my joke, right? If you said something about blank check or something, and I said that, checkmate. And then you started cracking checkmate jokes. You can't do that. I'd already gotten the checkmate joke.
Wait. When was that rule written?
What?
I'm sorry. It wasn't funny until I said that.
God. You see, a rabbi in Rosh Hashanah gets no respect.
I laugh at your jokes.
Yeah. Okay. Shana Tova, Shabbat Shalom. We are on page 5. For the Baruch Hu, please rise. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. We'll read together in English. Baruch Atah Adonai, our God, ruler of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzvaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch Atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk.
Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvin laila, Adonai tzivot shemo el chai v'kayam tamid yibos aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai
Shema.
hamari v'aravi
Ahavat Olam. V'ahavat Olam.
Ki heim chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negeh yomam v'layla ve'avatecha al tasir mimenu l'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael.
The Shema in the middle of page 6. Shema
Yisrael
Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha
bechol levavecha u'chol nafshecha u'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlektecha v'derech u'shofecha u'kumecha u'kshartam leot ayadecha v'hayu l'totafo b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha.
V'hayayim Shamoa. We're on page 7. V'natati L'man Yirbu Hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Adonai Eloheinu.
Adonai Elohim Hebed.
V'emunah kol zot v'kayam aleinu. We're on page 7, going on to page 8. Vayarim karneinu kol soneinu. V'admat b'nei cham. V'engizrei yam suf.
U'malchuto b'ratzon kiblu aleihem. Moshe Miriam uvnei Yisrael. Lechanu shira b'simcha rabba v'yameru chulam. Mi chamocha
Chabaelim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Tehillah Osefele.
Malchutecha uvanecha bokeam lifnei Moshe Ze'elianu v'hameru
Adonai Yimloch Leolam Vaed.
V'nemar kifat Adonai et Yaakov ugalo biad chazak mimenu baruch atah Adonai
Shmo.
Kol Yisrael.
We're on page 9. Hashki Venu. Vagain Badenu Vaser Me'alenu. Oyev Deva V'cher V'rav V'Yagom. Kiel Melech Hanun V'rachum Ata.
Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha baruch atah Adonai
Shmo.
hapore
Sukat Shalom.
Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Please rise. Page 10. Tiku V'chodesh Shofar.
Tiku v'chodesh shofar b'kesel yom chagenu ki chok l'Yisrael hu mishpat l'Elohei Yaakov yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabah
Amen.
ve'alba divra kirutei ve'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon
Yomechon.
u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael Magalav Vizman Karivimru. Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevo.
Le'alam ulam me'amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach. V'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yidnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal. Shemei dekudesha.
Brechu. Lehela. Mikol Birchata V'shirata.
Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma. V'imru. Amen.
We'll remain standing for our silent devotion from page 11 to page 17.
Shalom.
19 for the Reader's Kaddish.
Yitkadav yitkadash meraba.
Amen.
Ve'amadivra kirete v'amlik malchute. V'chayechon yom echon v'chayechol beit Yisrael. V'agalav yispan karivim ru. Amen.
Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach. Le'olam olam me'omaya.
Yitbarach. Yitbarach v'ishtabach v'bar v'itramam v'idaseh v'tadar v'lev la shemei kudashah.
Brichu.
Brichu la'ela mikol berchata v'shirata. Tushbchata v'nechamata damiram b'ilma v'ivru.
Amen.
Titkabaz lodon uvahodahon d'chol Yisrael kodam avahon yibishmaya v'ivru.
Amen.
Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Ahoseh shalom b'mramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Please rise again for the Kiddush, page 24.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol am v'ramamanu mikol lashon v'kiddishanu v'mitzvotav. Vatiten lanu Adonai Eloheinu be'ahava et yom hazikaron hazeh yom teruah mikra kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol amim udvarecha emet v'kayam la'ad. Baruch atah Adonai melech hakol haaretz mekadesh Yisrael v'yom hazikaron. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei me'orei ha'esh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechol ben or lechoshech ben Yisrael la'amim ben yom hashvi'i l'sheshet yemei ha'maseh ben kedushat Shabbat l'kedushat Yom Tov hivdalta vet yom hashvi'i misheshet yemei ha'maseh kidashta hivdalta v'kidashta et amacha Yisrael b'kedushatecha. Baruch atah Adonai hamavdil ben kodesh lekodesh.
Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Shehechiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. We'll remain standing for Aleinu, page 25. Ita, will you open here? Aleinu l'shabeach Latei kedula liotzer breishi Shelo asanu kigoye haratzot
Velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama Shelo sam chelkinu kahem Before aleinu kechol havonam
Anachnu korim
Umishtahavim umodim
Lifnei melech
Machei hamlachim
HaKadosh Baruch Hu
Shehu
Notei shamayim v'yosed haaretz Umoshav yikaron
B'shamayim imahal
Ushchinatu zo
Ushchinatu zo
V'gavei meromim
Hu Eloheinu
Einod
Ebed Malkeinu Epet Zulato
Kakatu
B'torato
V'yadata hayom
V'yadata
Hachevota elevavecha.
Ki Adonai
Hu Elohim
Hashamayim
Mimahal.
Be'al mitachat
Einod. Please be seated. V'haya Adonai lemelech
al kol haaretz
bayom hahu.
Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
In solemn testimony to that unbroken faith which links the generations one to another, let those who mourn now rise to magnify and sanctify thy holy name. Mourners Kaddish, page 26. Those of you who are saying Kaddish, please unmute yourselves. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'alma divrach thirutei v'yamrich malchutei v'chayei uvyomei uvchayei dechol beit Yisrael v'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach leolam l'olmei olmayim. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemayim v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'romav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Please be seated. We'll read Psalm 27, the whole page in English together. Adonai is my light and my help. Whom shall I fear? Adonai is the stronghold of my life. Whom shall I dread? When evil people assail me to devour my flesh, it is they, my enemies, and those who besiege me, who stumble and fall. Should an armed camp be arrayed against me, my heart would show no fear. Should they war against me, of this I would be sure. One thing I ask of Adonai, this I seek, to dwell in the house of God all the days of my life, to behold God's beauty and visit in God's sanctuary. Were God to hide me in God's sukkah on the calamitous day, were God to enfold me in the secret recesses of God's tent, I would be raised up in a protecting fort. Now I raise my head above the enemies that surround me, and come with offerings amidst trumpet blasts to God's tent, chanting and singing praise to Adonai. Adonai, hear my voice as I cry out. Be gracious to me and answer. It is you whom my heart said, seek my face. It is your presence that I seek, Adonai. Do not hide your face from me. Do not act angrily toward me. You have always been my help. Do not forsake me. Do not abandon me, my God, my deliverer. Though my father and mother abandon me, and I will gather me in. Show me your way, Adonai, and lead me on a straight path, despite those arrayed against me. Do not hand me over to the grasp of those who besiege me, for false witnesses and those who seek ill have risen against me. If only I could trust that I would see God's goodness in the land of the living. Place your hope in Adonai. Be strong, take courage, and place your hope in Adonai. I don't think we need announcements, right? Everybody knows everything. Anyway, but thank you for joining us tonight, everybody, and we'll conclude with the Yigdal on page 28.
Yigdal Elohim chai ve'yishtabach nimsa ve'enet el metziuta echad ben yachid ke'yichudo ne'lam ve'gam mitzvot le'havzuta eino demutavu ve'eino gu Lana Arabilav Kedushato Kadmon Lemodavav Asher Nivah Rishon Ve'Reshisho Ino Adon Olam V'chol Notzar
Yodeya.
Notain la Rosh Kerishato Yishlach
Locate Yamin.
Meshichenu Lifdod
Shuato Meitim Yechayel V'rov Chasto Baruch Adeya Shehilato Meitim Yechayel V'rov Chasto Baruch Adeya Shehilato L'shana Tova Tikatevu V'techatemu. May you be inscribed and sealed for a good year. Good Yom Tov. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon, for that beautiful Haftorah, and that was amazing. Your chakra read memory.
Thank you. I'm done. On the beautiful
highest.
Yes, the Chazanit. Yes.
Hi, Henry. You did such a beautiful shockery this morning.
Thank you. We miss you.
I miss you too. How's Houdini?
She cares.
Pardon?
Who's Houdini?
Sharon's cooking what?
Dog.
Oh, they have a dog.
One of their children has a dog named Houdini.
Oh, okay.
And every time, like, this dog is really cute.
See you all tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Ed Kaplan. Ed Kaplan, you still there? So
Yeah, I'm right here.
So there's 5 shofar blowings, and I have Emily doing 3 and you 2. Okay? So I have you doing the last 2. One on, I can even tell you, I'm very organized, page 166, and then the long 100 blast thing in the middle of the Reader's Kaddish.
Just a second. Let me look at that.
It doesn't work.
It was just so that they would.
166.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of Kiata Shomea or something.
Right.
Okay.
That's in Shofar Road, and then when was the next one?
So you know how in the Reader's Kaddish at the end we stop in the
okay,
middle,
right.
and you
So
do.
basically, you want me to do Shofar Road, and you
But
want
you
me to
can,
do the Kaddish at the end, and
but
that's
the
it.
one, but don't go by what it says in the Kaddish. We're going to do the whole 100 blast thing.
Probably because
Okay,
this,
now,
right,
but
is
also,
up here,
Ed,
so it picks
I
up them,
with these things,
and
I
you
don't know
as
what's
much.
going to happen. So I want you
That's
there.
probably why.
If Emily's doesn't come off, I want to be able to call on you. Okay.
It's all the way back.
So
I know, then I probably would slide this up.
okay,
a little
so
bit.
you know, I mean,
the
pun
speaker.
intended. Stay tuned. You know,
Stay tuned.
stay
Well,
tuned.
you know, as much as a shofar can stay in tune, we'll stay in tune.
You know, or wake up with the Tekiah
But that's
sunrise.
more for people on stream
Look, it's
or
one
here.
time of the
It
year
doesn't
we're really
impact
trying to
them.
blow it.
Okay,
This is where
did you hear what I said?
you-
You can wake up with the Tekiah sunrise. Tekiah sunrise.
This is for Zoom.
Tekiah
But it was
sunrise.
fine this morning.
It's a kid, sunrise.
Yeah, but
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't hear it. You wouldn't know.
yeah, it's just so weird when you're trying to sing
Bye.
and like it doesn't feel like anybody could hear you. Like it didn't feel like this morning that anybody could hear me.
But they did.
But I promise you they did.
Yeah.
So-
But you have no way of knowing that.
So
But
was
you
the
hear- you hear
sound
with the
not
Yisrael
as
now
good?
How bad it is when everybody's unmuted.
We have to mute. I'm sorry.
yes.
I
No.
love everyone in this congregation, but we have to.
No,
Can-
no. But
can anyone hear
that's
me?
What the whole thing would be like times 100.
Can you hear me?
Right.
If,
No, but it's almost sort of good to try
yeah,
and
it
to
doesn't
see
work.
how bad it is.
Yeah, I told you it would be bad.
No, I know it's bad because I would do weekday mini.
Yeah.
But but if it's a weekday mini and it's just 10 or 12 people, but and I still think it's nice at the end, and I really do believe in with the Mourner's Kaddish you should be able to hear
No,
people.
Mourner's Kaddish
Yeah.
is different though. You're not like singing.
That's
some,
right.
You know.
It's not
No, Mourner's
cacophony.
Kaddish. It's supposed to be cacophony. Mourner's Kaddish.
Can you all hear me? No.
All right.
No one's saying anything.
Now, nobody was streaming, right?
No, we were streaming.
Okay.
Did you
That's
stop
good.
the stream?
Nobody's
You
gonna
can hit
be
stop
recording and
stream.
me giggling in the middle of
You know where that is?
Should be on the right, right?
Why am I not hearing anyone here?
How are you, Mike Romeo?
I'm fine, Rabbi. You're absolutely